Hi everyone, Tiffany here, and welcome to my quilting life. If you're new to my channel, head down there, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and get notifications when I am live or when I post videos. So as the description says, today was all named Mariner Star, but this video is actually being shown or recorded or done live purposely to show how backing is done when you have to piece fabric and you don't buy 108, even though 108 would have not fit my project. So this is a video purely to show how to back a quilt that is bigger than 108, because that's typically, the backing that you can buy in 108 by whatever yardage for your length. But this is, I'm backing the Mariner Star, which I'm not going to unfold, but it's right here. You guys have seen it. If you've been in the group, you'll see it turned out 120 by 120, which is 10 foot by 10 foot. So I am purely here to show you how to go about when you can't find backing that big, you got to buy yardage. So I need 14 yards for that this quilt this size, because I'm going to be piecing it in 1, 2, 3 pieces on the back side. My fabric, if you take away the selvage, is going to be 42 inches. So that was 126 inches I need, but I need 128 inches. So because I need just a little bit more because of the selvage, we're pulling that away. I do not quilt my selvage into the backs of my quilts. I cut that out. And there's a reason for it, because this fabric will shrink, and when the selvage is in there, you can actually see the wrinkles of it behind it, and I don't like that. So I am going to make this without the selvage. So I'm going to cut that out. So I'm going to be sewing away from it and not using it at all because I don't need it. So I'm just going to sew this together, but I am going to use a 1/2 inch seam. I do use a bigger seam for the back of my quilt back. So taking all that away, I realize that I'm only going to get 126 inches. I need 128. So I pulled out, here's one of the backing fabric colors, and here is the other. They're going together. Unfortunately, there's not enough between the three. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join them with another fabric. Technically 2 other fabrics, because I chose 2 to go with it. So I chose these 2 colors right here that I had in my stash, and I didn't have much of, just to go through here, and it matches this too. See, so pretty together. I need to join it together with something. So I'm going to hook these 2 together with strips that are just 2.5 inches wide. And I'm going to have a blue one on one side and a green one on the other, and then the other one I'll flip-flop. So I'm just going to cut out a bunch of 2.5 inch strips. So 1, 2, 3.5, and 1, 2, 3.5 of each color together. So I need 6. Yes, I need 7 strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, I need 7 strips of each of these so that I could put both of them in between on both sides. Technically on both sides of the center panel. So I'm hooking 3 panels together. I know I'm confusing, right? But first of all, we are going to take this. I think this one is going to be my middle one. I realized when I looked at the receipt earlier, I was talking about this in my live stream for the Mariner Star, that I got 7 yards. Well, actually, I ended up with 7 yards of one and 6 of the other. So I'm shy yardage. So I can only I'm going to take the shortest one and cut only the length and inches I need, which will be 128, and the other one will be on both sides, and I'm going to cut 128 inches off of that as well. So first off, I'm going to start by turning the camera over to the ironing board so that I can cut. I'm going to count out 128 inches and cut it. So hi, Diane. I'm going to turn it right here so that you can. Oh my goodness, so sorry about that. It's not going to stay very well, but right now I have it folded in half because I need 2 pieces that are on this one. So that's folded in half, the whole yardage. And I'm going to take this And I'm going to go to 128 inches of both these pieces, and then I'm going to cut. So, we're going to make this easy on myself because I need to count better than a yardstick. I'm horrible with math. You guys know this, horrible with math. So I'm just going to lay that on the edge. I'm going to put this over here on this. So I have it at 60 inches, which would be 120 when I do this whole thing. And then I'm just going to go to the 8 because I know I need 128. So I'm going to lean it over just a little so that I have a little bit extra. I'm going to come over here to my 60, right? And I'm just going to pull it all the way to the beginning again. So there's 2 rolls of it. And then come to the 8. So now I'm going to grab that, and that should be 128 inches. No, 60 and 60. Okay, yeah, I did that wrong. So where was I? Let's do this again, because I'm like totally not doing it right. I need 2 of these, and it's folded into the 2. Let's try this again. So here's my 60 right here. Let's knock all this off. I'll just pull it all back out again after I get this to the edge where I need to be. Right there, 60. So pretty much I'm just cutting this in half. Look at that. Right there at the fold on that end. So there's a fold from them being folded on top. I'm just going to cut that off right there. Does that make these 2 even? Go figure. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Scissors. 72, 72, 144. 6 yards of each will be 144 long. See, I'm doing something wrong. I know I am. Now you're making me want to redo this again and just count only 1 at a time to 128 inches. Now what did I do with my thingamabobber? We're just going to count the measure how long my board is. That will make me get this more accurate. 64. You want to do the math while I'm here then, Diane? Here's 64 inches of a table. So 6 and 6 is 12. So 64 and 64 is what? What's 64 plus 64?
128.
128. That's exactly what I need.
You got light?
Yes.
Okay, can I turn the light off back here?
Yes.
Okay.
Ha! So I'm going to cut right there. There's 128 inches. I'm going to cut right there. Now I just need to cut the next one this long. How's that? For me not doing things correctly. All right, so let's make the other one this long. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dee. Hi, Diane. My last name is Mayberry. Okay. Well, let's do this all over again. Line them up together, and this should be the same. I don't need that anymore. The ironing board let me know that. And they pretty much, it's a little bit over, as you can see. So that's perfectly fine. I should just cut it in half in the first place. All right, let's cut one of those other pieces this long now, too. Like I said, I've told you guys this several times. This board is so much easier to have because I can do other things with it, like measuring fabric. All right. I grab this. I only need one of these. So let's make it the same exact length as those other two. Probably be smart of me if I was to have one of those darn calculators that's specifically for quilting. Let's flatten it out. Wait, it's not completely wrinkled. Lay it right here and chop it off. Ta-da! And there's not enough left, so this could just go back on the bolt for later, or something else, or a pillowcase to put the quilt in, or something. Okay, so now I have my 3 pieces. Now I need to cut some strips. Yeah, I know there's an app. Every time I download the app, everything gets all messed up. All right. Bring it over here. Throw it all up here. All right. So it's all up here for now. I'm going to turn the camera around and cut some 2.5-inch strips to go in between. I don't remember how many I said I needed. 7. That's what I said. 7 of each color. Line them up together and just cut them together. And it looks short because it's folded in half. That's why. Okay. Let's move that out of the way. Sorry, I'm going to be in front of the camera for a second. I don't need that. Make a straight line by putting it on a straight line, making sure everything is crossing over that line. And it is not. Now it is. All these pieces are crossing over that line. All right, now let's cut it. I needed 7 of each color. Well, let's line this up, line that up, move the mouse out of the way before I cut the cord, which I almost did twice now in other videos. Cut that off, and now cut 2.5-inch strips to go down the center. Technically, it's going to be a little bit wider. That's why I went with the 128 inches worth. So I could cut these smaller if I wanted, but I'm going to stick with 2.5-inch strips. Because it doesn't matter if my extra on the sides of the quilt, as long as the top and bottom are good. So I think it'll look just fine. One, two, three, 4. 3 more cuts. 5. 6. 7. Okay. I don't know if that's what I have left of that, but I'll cut that all down too later. Now, cut the selvages off. think I used this green in another quilt that I did in a live. I'm trying to remember which one. I don't remember. It's like in the border maybe. Or 10.5 total. Yeah, I didn't have that much, so that's why I'm doing this way. I did the math while I was at the store too for just 120 inches, but my quilt came out more than 120 inches. So that is the only reason why I needed more than I calculated when I was at the store. Be nice though to have a calculator specifically for this, because then that would make my life so much easier. And I know I stacked a ton of layers here, so this is going to be one weird ass cut, but look at that, it cut through. So I'm going to sew all those together. And I'm going to trim these and sew these. That's why I'm putting these in the middle between the colors though. And they go great anyway, so. Should have pressed all this, but you can tell my fold in my fabric the way I fold it. It's not lying very straight. Lay down. Go. Hi, Vicky. Yeah, should have called me when you're at the store. I would have looked it up for you. I know I should have just went online and did it, but I was out of town and then I didn't think anything of any of that. Just kind of grabbed what I thought I needed. All right. Done. This should work though. I should have what I'm looking for in the size. So let me tip the camera up and show you what I'm doing to make this backing. All right. Ah, sorry for the wiggling. Don't you hate that? I have to do that though. Right, now that I'm far away from the screen, I can't see what it says. After I hook all these together, I'm probably going to go ahead and press them real quick because they are pretty, I don't know the word for it, but again, I'm going to do that same thing. Move that out of the way. Just hook 2, 2, 2, and 2. But these are going to be with a 1/4 inch seam, or as best of a 1/4 inch as possible. Because these are going to be on the back, they get back stitched. The backing is what I worry about because it does get loaded to the long arm. So because it's got to get pinned a bunch and so on, I'm really more cautious on how my seams and stuff are on it. Take 2 more. I'm pretty sure this is going to look super awesome the way I'm doing it. I'm going to have to press this though. I'll press them both once they're both made. So again, that just gave me one long piece by doing what I just did. Yeah, that's the one that crashed on my last phone a bazillion times, so I don't use that app now. So I'm taking, again, the bottom. I have the whole stack just stacked up. Take that bottom one, fold it under. The rest of them, sew them together in 2s. That keeps everything right sides together. That's just my maniac way of doing it, you know. But it works. Grab the next two, so on and so forth. So what I'm doing here is I'm hooking each panel together with these strips that I'm making. And that's it. Again, I have one really long hooked together piece, and I didn't have to lay anything to the side or anything like that. So let me turn the iron on, move all this stuff off the ironing board. Just gonna place it all up here for now and press all this nicely since it's got some folding up. I have my special foot brace on my foot too, so that's why if it looks like I'm hobbling around, it's because I am. I have a brace that I wear at night on my foot, so for my drop foot. Wants to turn every time I do that. All right. I don't need water. I'm going to press this flat because you can see my fabric was folded. And yeah. That's all my seams one way. I'm just going to pull it down and iron all the way. It's not hot enough. Not hot enough. Cute can't be a good reason to call your channel that. Call our channel what? Oh, I can't. It's further up. That's why I can't see. Something in. I love that show. But all my nieces and nephews call me Aunt B. So my sister thought I should have channel Aunt B. Oh, okay. Almost done. Then I'm going to fold it in half and cut it in exact half. Because I only need half. So one. I'm going to fold it in half and cut. It should be plenty. Should be more than plenty, but obviously I'm trying to do this all on the safe side. I just need 2 pieces so you can see what I'm doing here. Keeping this end together. Stay. Come all the way to that end, keeping it nice and flush. Fold it here, and I'm going to cut right there in that half mark. So I'm just cutting it in half. Done. Okay, so those 2 pieces are done. Let's press and cut in half this. This one was all wrinkled too. Go figure. Why can't anything ever be flat? My channel used to be a different name. Remember that, Diane? I had to change it because it was just weird. It used to be Tiffany the Tattooed Disabled Quilter. And then I looked it up and found out that there's somebody already on YouTube called the Tattooed Quilter, so I couldn't be that. Although I have way more tattoos than that guy. Then I was, can't be the disabled quilter because I'm really not in a wheelchair permanently, so that sounded dumb. And I didn't want to be the beginner quilter because if I was the beginner quilter, then who is going to follow somebody who don't know what they're doing as a beginner? If that makes any sense. So I definitely had to come up with something. And since this is my life and you guys follow it, it was only fitting to be Tiffany's Quilting Life. Because you are in my life while I quilt. Okay. Nicely cut. Now let's fold this one in half. I'm going to just find the other end. Just bring it up onto it. And just use the table as my keeping it together guide. So by the time I pull it all up, I should be at the matching end. Bam, just like that. Done. Now to sew 1 blue to 1 green. Such a long seam. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera. I'm sure you guys can see me. We're going to just leave that iron on. I'm going to grab 1 blue piece and 1 green piece and sew them together, and then I'll sew the other 2. These would make me have 4 inches in between, making me come to 128. All right, so let's get these right sides together. So I'm going to just find both my seams right here and right here, because the bottom has a half seam and the top has a full seam. So we're going to come to this full seam right here at the top, lay it down just like so. Find this side's full seam right here. I'm going to put these 2 seams together. Like this. I'm going to nest these 2 seams. That way it lines up at least really nicely. I'm going to put a pin in it, which I don't usually do, but the project that it's going to has already been pinned a bazillion times. Why not pin this too? Okay. So now I'm just going to run my fingers across it until it's flat at the top. And then I'll start sewing. One's bigger than the other because one probably has way more, is more than 42 inches, and the other one's probably like a different number. I'm using my fingernails just to run along it and keep it nice and flat. Now I'm just going to sew it like a big long strip, because that's what it is. Keeping them nice and flush together. Maybe if I changed my bobbin now, I would have thread, not sew nothing. And I am not really sewing a 1/4 inch seam. I'm sewing a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch seam, so technically I don't have 4 full inches, but I'm keeping it as good as possible together. And consistent the whole way down. As consistent as I can get it. By the time I get to the next seam, it should line up, but I'm going to put the pin down there anyway. Oh no, I can't. It's not going to line up because they're totally different lengths. How retarded am I? Just thought about that right now. Oh well. Hey, Christine. Okay, let's see. Time yourself how long it takes. Time how long how what takes. Hi everyone, 2:45. Tuesday in Langley. Was kicking myself that I missed the 2 live streams this morning. No, it was actually 3 live streams. This is the 4th, but that's okay, and it's okay that you missed it. It's no big deal. This morning turned into second about 2 minutes before Tiffany said goodbye. So you tuned in right at the last minute. This beginning. How are you piecing the back? I am piecing the back by using the 2 colors that I've shown you that I chose, but I can only use 3 things because I only had 7 yards of one and 6 of the other. There wasn't going to be enough. My quilt top turned out to be 120 by 120, so I needed this to be about 128 by 128. The only way to achieve that and have a little bit more on the sides is to have 2 strips of color, these 2, which you could see go great with these colors, and then the stripe is in there somewhere. I'm using these on the outside, then these 2 pieces are going together, and then the middle one will be the striped fabric because I only had enough for 1 strip of that. So that's why I decided to go with this, so that I get my full 8 inches that I need, or as close to it, because I just need a little bit, the sides don't matter. As long as my top and bottom, the length is exact, because I don't want to start quilting and then get to the bottom and not have enough. I've done that 1 time only, and that was pure accident. Thinking it was just because the quilt was stretching, because I knew that top was, I knew I had at least 2-3 inches, and yeah, I think it was just shifting, and it just got itself out of alignment, and I ran out of backing fabric right at the edge. So I cut the border down smaller just because it was easier. It was a good thing it had it was like a 4 or 5 inch border, so I was able to cut it down without it looking dumb. But I only did it once, and never again since. It happens, though, accidentally. So yeah, I'm putting these together. So the green will probably be on the most inside, and the blue will probably be sitting next to the striped fabric, and the green will be sitting next to this fabric. Both, because I think it looks cute. And these were just from my stash because I really didn't have anything else that would go good with these two colors. Hi, Gina. Girl, are you back again? LOL. Isn't it time to... I never rest. Rest is for the weak. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm silly, right? No, I have a goal, and I'm going to be taking this down to the quilt shop tomorrow. Not the backing, but the Mariner Star top. I'm taking it to the quilt shop tomorrow to match a thread. That way, by the time the 15th comes, if the weather is permitting, the long arm is going back on the frame, and the quilt is being loaded, and it's getting quilted right away. Plus, I have 2 other customer quilts that need to be done, so I might as well get this out of the way and ready to go so that I can focus on getting those done, because long arming I usually do at night anyway. Once everyone goes to bed, I turn the music on out there, I blast it, and do my thing. So having everything ready to go makes it easier. I don't want to have to be piecing this all at the last minute. Alright, so here's one. Well, tangled with. So I'm just going to put this right here for a second. Sew these together. And then once these 2 are sewn together, then I will press them. Be nice if it wasn't all tangled, right? All right. So I have that right side up, and then this one will go right side up on top. I mean, right side down. Okay, that's right side up, that's right side down. Yeah, I never sleep. I mean, I do sleep, but I have severe insomnia, so I never really sit and... I do rest sometimes, though, when I'm in MS attacks, really bad ones. Like right now, it's not an MS attack, it's a belly attack. That's why I haven't been feeling good for over a week, and my belly problems are just absolutely terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And it's looking like I'm going to end up having another surgery. It's like never ending with belly problems. My body hates everything I eat, hates everything I drink. My body just hates me. After a certain time, though, I really shouldn't be sewing, because then everyone here goes to bed. And on the other side of this wall is my son's room. The other side of the wall that's behind you guys is where my husband sleeps, in the living room. So I try to be, nice, with the calming of the machine. At nighttime usually is when I just cut fabric only. Or I plan. I do a lot of planning. I do some sewing, though. Just depends on if they've been asleep for a while and I know I'm not going to wake anyone. Hi, Teresa. I hope my ding-dong on your thing didn't wake you up, that my notification that I was on. I did, however, tell everyone I'd be on around 9, and guess what? I'm on around 9. But this project is a lot quicker of a video because all I'm doing is making a back. So just sewing and sewing and sewing and sewing. Oh, and sewing. Straight lines. Just long pieces. Besides the getting up to press this. Quilt. Black, so I started using squares and created a heap of 36 patches. Not as creative as Tiff did, but still one of hers. I'm going to turn it into a double-sized quilt, I hope. That's my favorite thing, to sew straight. I like to sew curvy and wonky on the long arm. When I'm sitting here, it should be straight, but I never have straight lines, ever. If I showed you half of my long running seams like this, you'd be like, whoa. They are rarely straight. Much more accurate though when I use the guide. Not using the guide because I have the other guide on with the other foot thing so that I can have a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch. I definitely want a little bit bigger than a 1/4 inch on this. Okay, so now that this is almost done, I'm going to take this over and press both of these. So I'm going to take these over and press them. I'm not even going to tip the camera. I'm just going to turn it and you can watch. Because it seems easier instead of wiggling it too much. You can see mostly what I'm doing. All right, Teresa, good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to press this whole thing to the blue side. So we're going to put the blue down. Get the iron to turn back on. You know, I just realized too, if this was just the top, this color right here, look at that. If this was in the top and I was able to just quilt with this, or if this was just a quilt made with that only, I mean, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? That would have been perfect. I got the perfect color just sitting right here. And even the blue, I have a blue. Ooh, look at that. That would have been perfect too. It's too bad this isn't the top. Look at me. I'm like going goo goo gaga over the matching of things. Favorite thing to do is my favorite thing to sew is crooked, but seam guide makes me so straight. Same. All right. So let's open this up. I'm just gonna ease it back. Towards the blue. Blue is the darker color. So it's only smart to put it towards the darker color. So I'm just like inching the iron onto the one side, if that makes any sense. I didn't set the seam, I'm just inching it over. Okay, so let's pull this up more. Start it over. Make sure it's all towards one way. I'm just going to inch the iron towards the one side. Since the ironing board is still warm right now, it's okay to start doing it. Just wiggling it little by little against that seam, pushing it back. Oops, I don't want no bowing, so let's keep that nice and straight, Tiffy. Oh my goodness, stay. Nice and straight, nice and straight. Okay, Done. Let's grab another one. I'm just going to throw them on the floor for now. 10:27 minutes. It's been 45 minutes since I've been on. I'm only doing that because the seam flipped. It's like I never even pressed it. Go figure. Pinch that in and just go all the way down. And no, I'm not pressing Cricut. It's just pressing away from me. It's running away. Oh, you timed how long it took for me to sew this whole seam? Is that what you're talking about? Now that I'm thinking about it? Because I was going to say that the time of making the whole back is hard to time that. It's just as long as I've been on, I guess. Besides all the little chit-chat here and there. Oh my goodness, are you serious? See, I have a fold right here. Okay, see that? So I'm pulling it out. I know you guys can see that. So you don't want that. So I'm just going to lay it back down, warm the seam real quick, then roll it back. Get rid of that pleat. Jenny Doan on Missouri Star Quilt Company always talks about making sure you watch for pleats and folds. So you got to be very careful. If you're not paying attention, it's really easy to get them. You don't want to do that. I'll just set the rest of this seam while I'm right here. You can see my really yucky iron. It's getting gross now. I've been doing a lot of pressing lately. Okay. So, does anybody remember what I said? Was I putting the green in towards the stripe? Or the... Yeah, I think I was. The blue towards the middle, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of the selvage now because I don't sew selvage in mine. Hi, Billy. I'm going to get rid of the selvage now on this. Shouldn't be too hard, right? Just do one piece at a time. And there's 3 pieces here, so we're going to separate all those right now. There's 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to start with this outer one first. To get rid of the selvage, I'm just going to fold it. It's all about the folding. I'm just going to fold these ends for now. Grab this end right here. And I want a nice straight line right here. And I want to cut with my right hand to be more accurate. Fold it on top of the self one more time, keeping this whole entire fold all the same length. Just adjust it just a little. Everything's exactly the same. Just a little, just a little. It's all level. It's all level. All level. Put it on a line just because. Grab me a ruler. Find how far in, probably. There, find a line. Line a line and find a weight, which I buried already. Seriously, we're just going to use my hand then. Okay. Just going to use my arm as a weight. Salvage gone in one foul swoop. Done. Let's sew this piece now with its corresponding end. So I'm going to move my little pencil under there, move my phone way over there. And what I need now to do this really long seam. What did I say? It's going against this is the green, right? Yeah. So we're going to find this piece. We're going to take the green. We're going to put it in right sides together like so. And I'm going to sew a little bit more than a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. I'm not going to pin or anything. Just going to start sewing. I'm going to back stitch till it's going to have to be trimmed, and then I'll just go around it so nothing frays. But we're going to go all the way down with my pretend 1/4 inch seam. It's not scant because it's not too small, and it's not a 1/2 inch completely, but it's not too big. And I think I want it bigger than that. So let's put this right here, right there. There we go. All right. Now I'm just going to sew all the way down. Right sides together of this really, really, really long thing. 27 seconds to sew those strips together, even with talking. Really? Dang. That's quick, I guess. Because I don't have the machine on super fast, and it's still running away from me. So annoying. All right, guys, we're going to try to stay accurate with this. Consistent. My stitch length is set at 1.8. So I like my stitches on the backs to be tighter because I don't want anything opening, because the back is actually getting stretched on the frame more than any other part. So I definitely like to have a tighter stitch for anybody who, ever thinks about that when it's sent to a long armor. You got to remember, it's being tugged a little bit more than any other seam in the whole entire quilt. You timing me on this now, Diane? I probably have a timer on my phone. I just don't know how to use it. So just so that we know, bring the smaller one. My seam is 1, 2, 3/8. Which is good. Good for a backing seam. Very good. And I do press all these as well. So after it's sewn on, I'll press it, and then after the other side is sewn to this, the middle section, and then I'll sew another piece. So it's just like putting blocks together, just really big blocks. Or it's like sashing, and it's really long sashing. Yeah, I've been off and on all day today. I have no kids, so it makes it easier. Let's see, loathing, seeing racist. Thanks, lady, she doesn't know. She's a cheeky one sometimes. Clothing. Okay, clothing. I can see now. Okay. See, so I'm going to put this out so you guys can tell. I'm going to open this seam up. Doesn't that look so adorable together? Come on. Open up. Look at that. It matches perfectly, and then the blue will be next to the striped fabric. I just love when something comes together like this. After 1 a.m. Well, here it's, oh, that writing is so much smaller than the rest. It's 10:12. 1 a.m. is like nothing to me. Diane might know that one too. Excuse me. I didn't expect to sneeze. I must be jumping up some dust off my machine. I don't really sneeze very much, so that's very weird. Oh no, I think we're coming to a bottom soon. And this I won't starch, by the way. I only starch the tops. The only time I would starch a back is if I made a two-sided quilt, which I've done quite a few times now. It's the only time I'll starch it. Because when it's starched, it doesn't actually roll very nicely. It needs to be loose to roll really nicely onto the long arm. When you starch a backing, it rolls funky. And any crease, like unlike this, the crease will come out because it's not stiff too much. But when you starch something and there's an accidental crease rolled up, that crease has been sitting and sitting and sitting in the roll up so long that it's permanently in the quilt. Oh, I hate it. Even after washing, you can still tell that there was a funky crease rolled up. So I would say you guys don't really need to starch your backs. Just the quilt top. All right, we're coming to the end. This is just bigger by a little bit. So I'm going to fold it on top of itself and chop it off like I would do with anything. I think I need more scissors next to me. Okay. Throw that down on the floor. All right, let me press this, and then we'll attach the next one. I'm going to press it as well. I'm going to press this towards the backing main fabrics. I couldn't get the word out. It wasn't coming to me. Let's put this piece over here. And these over here too. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Lacey. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to press this now. I might have to reinitiate my iron to be hot. And I'm going to, again, do this from the back side and roll it, because I'm not going to be able to roll it under from the front side. So I'm just going to kind of push it towards me and then come from the front. It wants to lay this way towards this, but I don't want it that way. I want it this way. So we're going to make it go that way. I'm just pulling on the fabric just a little bit, and then I'll flip it over real quick once it's all flat. Make sure there's no folds or anything. Just kind of pushing it back real quick, pretty much. making it nice. Turn it around real quick, give it a nice press. So pretty. All right, everything should be back. And see all this? I'll pick out, oh, that just came right out. Anything that's in the seams, sometimes it doesn't come out, but I make sure I get all that because it'll get quilted in if I don't. Because you can't really control it if it's on the back. So you really got to pay attention to make sure.
Thank you, honey. I'm going back to
I'll focus here right now. Yeah, because it's facing that way. I love you. Nice. Get up. Everyone's saying hi, by the way. He's going to bed. No wrinkles in this whole thing. That's good. That's what I wanted. No wrinkles. Okay. Now we're going to attach the stripe one. Yay. So we're going to turn it this way. So what I'm going to do to start, because I don't want this, it's so long, you know. So I'm going to lay it right here first. It's not going to want to stay because it's weight. Stay now. But we're going to grab this green. Oh, wait. Duh, I got to chop the selvage off. I knew I was missing a step. So again, I'm going to line this up. Chop the selvage off. So I'm lining them up right here. Here, nice and straight, nice and straight. Keeping everything flush. So it's nice and straight. This is not a conventional way to do things, but guess what? Does it look like I do anything conventional or average? No. But for beginners, this is actually the perfect way to do it, honestly. Straighten this out. Make sure every one of these ends is nice and flush. It's nice and straight, nice and straight. Every single one of these lines up right there. We're going to put it on a line just because it needs to be on a line. I'm going to take this side. I don't know how far the selvage is on that side. Beyond that line, so we need to come right. So that's the farthest. I'm looking to make sure I don't want it in there at all because then it shrinks. It doesn't shrink the selvage, so it ends up lining up really wrong. So we're going to take this. Yeah, I know. I'm crazy for cutting through this many layers. Oh my goodness, come on. Okay. That's off. Selvage there. Let's sew. Or let's line up and sew. We're going to move that there for a second. Re-grab this. Place it up here for a sec. Hold my body against it. Take this. And it's going to go right sides together. along here. I'm going to line the two tops up. The blue's kind of sticking out a little bit further. And I'm going to come down this whole entire thing like this real quick. Place it on here so that way it stays as I get to it. That way everything's already opened up. So I'm just running my hands along the edge, grabbing the next step, next piece, next section, whatever. Lining it up all the way down. I'm going to leave it right here for a second in my hand. And then bring it to myself. Lining up these two ends because this blue sticks out too far. And I'm going to sew that same 3/8 inch seam. Usually I do half, but it's turning out 3/8, which is fine. Now I'm going to sew this all the way down. And I don't press these seams open, as you just noticed. I don't press them open. I don't see no point in pressing a back open because, again, you're going to run over that seam, and if there's any pulling and tugging from the machine or the frame, you know, in the rolling part, things nice and flat here. Keeping it flat, keeping it flat. Then it will split open just as a seam on the top would. You don't want that. Okay, I'm trying to keep everything nice and flat. For some reason, it's starting to shift already. So just get a little bit further down. Line it up. Keep it flat. Keep everything nice and flat. Both strip sets in the center, aren't you? Yes. So there's going to be the other strip set's going to go on to this one, and it'll go. Hold on, let's look again. Then it'll start with the blue closest to this and the green closest to this. Huh, you like that, don't you? I do. I think it looks cute. So for big, huge quilts, if you realize that adding 3, widths of fabric next to each other to build it together is not going to be long enough, put a decorative down the middle, separating the two. Something decorative. I think it looks awesome. Oh, my foot is in a special brace that I have to wear at night. Yeah, it's because I have drop foot and plantar fasciitis. So it's keeping my foot up instead of, okay, so here's the foot joint, and drop foot causes, here's the top of the foot to fall like that as I step. Well, at night when I sleep, it's the foot, when it falls, it's yanking on what was my plantar fascia band. I forgot how to say that. Well, I had that cut because my foot was starting to turn sideways. Like it actually wasn't starting to, it was sitting sideways. So instead of my foot being upright like this, it was sitting sideways. When that band was cut, it released it. Well, now that it's released, my foot just stays down. So to hold my foot up at night to prevent pain and any other injuries into my ankle and so on and so forth, or any other parts of my foot, I have to wear it, and instead of it being this angle, it's being pushed this way. So it's pulling it nice and tight, keeping it from, I don't know how to say it, just keeping it from further damaging any other tendons in my feet. foot, just singular. It only happened to one foot. My other foot's fine. So now I have a special brace. It took a long time to get the brace. After physical therapy and surgery and all sorts of stuff, the brace was the last option, and I didn't really want to wear a brace, but it's awkward to sleep in, let me tell you. But it lessens the pain and keeps my foot, you know, moving, which is good. But I limp around in it because the stupid thing has a big top band and it sucks, but this is the kind that's holding my foot back specifically instead of a hard plate that goes under the bottom of the foot. I don't need that. I need the one that holds my foot back. So it's a night brace. And I left it on. I was relaxing with it on because that's the best time to wear it. And I was like, oh, shoot, I need to go on and do this. And I never took it off. And it's actually feeling really good, stretching my foot. So it's a positive that it's still on. Okay, I think I'm more than halfway down now. Trying to keep everything really nice and flush and straight. And when I go to press this, I'm going to open it up on, first I'm just going to move my ironing board just a little hair this way, and I'm going to open it up on the ironing board and feel that seam and just push it towards this striped fabric. Or towards the blue, actually, because the blue is actually darker than the striped fabric. So yeah, I'm going to push it towards the blue. So for any beginners that are watching this video after the fact and you're still curious about backing and stuff, Diane said that there's an app, and I know there's an app, but I just don't use it because some phones, it freezes them. So it's Robert Kaufman quilting calculator or quilt calculator. I'm pretty sure it's one of those words. But if you have any questions about maybe design ideas on how to piece a backing, like if you want to do something like I'm doing, piecing, or just questions on this video, period, just ask in the comments below. All right. So I'm just going to spread this over the ironing board. And I'm also going to add some more water because I haven't had barely any steam. And I like steam, you guys know that. Be over there in just 2 seconds to turn the camera so you can see what I mean about stretching it over the ironing board. I very dangerously put my iron on top of a big huge pile. See that right there? That's my iron sitting on a stack that's wobbling. I needed it out of the way for a second. So what I'm going to do, since I'm pressing it towards the blue, is I'm going to go over the ironing board all the way, like this. Now, I'm going to take that seam and pull it towards the blue, all the way down. And it's wanting to go towards the stripe, and I really can't tell I can't see it. I guess that's good. Maybe I'll just put it that way. Either way, it's nice to have it spread like this. So this is what I'm doing, guys. Doesn't this look cool? It's like racing stripes on a car, but it's racing stripes on a quilt. Pull it down. So many loose, wild threads coming out of it. Quilter's little helper. Okay. So anybody that wants to learn about that after this video is over and you're re-watching it from the replay, the Quilter's little helper. It's in the App Store. I don't know what it's called for iPhones, but I know for my Android it's in the App Store. Okay. I'm just going to set the iron there. And this now is going to get, the blue is closest to this, so I'm going to line that blue up right now before I turn the camera. I'm going to put the blue up here, like so. And it's going to get sewn down this side. Like that. So let me turn this and we're going to take it over. You have it on your phone, and it has been very helpful. Good, good, good. Yeah, I haven't put it on my new phone yet, but it was on my old one, and it has lots of issues. Had lots of issues because I don't use that phone no more, obviously. All right. So now this is kind of getting a little heavy, so it's best to just put the project on the table. Grab the end that you want to sew and at least start that. And I'm again sewing that 3/8 of an inch. And then the next one will go on the other side. All I got to do is cut the selvage off. It'll go on the other side, and then I'll straighten everything out by folding it into quarters and just trimming it up. Just to straighten everything out for when I load it on the long arm. It's nice to have a straight line to pin to. Oh, I haven't been doing this very long. Just saw it's only been an hour and 19 minutes. Feels like longer though to me. I guess anybody that sews things feel like it took longer, but it actually didn't. So after I press this, then I should have one more seam to sew and be done. Yeah, I'll put it on later. Just remind me. Send me a message, Diane, to remind me to do it because I won't remember by the end of this video. And since I've already downloaded it before, it should still be in my Google, you know, of things that I've downloaded before. Because my Google transferred to this phone, so everything that was there. I didn't put as many apps though since I've had my new phone. I kind of haven't been putting as many apps. Sorry, my seam was kind of shy there, and I want it to stay 100% consistent all the way down. And see, it's not going to matter. The cool part about this is I'm going to probably put, I'm using a light blue and white between the two colors on the top. So what I'm going to be doing is a light blue and or white in the bottom. And the cool part is there's so much white in here, I can quilt with white and it's okay and it will look fine. But I could also quilt with a blue and it will look fine, you know? Normally I use blender fabrics though for the back, more on the lighter tone so that I can use white to quilt with in my bobbin. I don't like to use two different colors because sometimes I could be going and not realize my tension actually being off. And it happens every once in a while. It's not always. Once the tension is set with my thread that I use, it stays. Sometimes during thread changes, though, it gets knocked off. The tension gets messed up. That's what having all the excess fabric on the sides and the top and bottom is for. Mainly the sides are used to quilt, to do some swigglies to make sure that the tension is accurate before I start quilting. That's why we make it so much bigger. Okay, so I have a little bit of excess. I'm just going to chop it off. And with all this leftover, I can cut it into 2.5-inch segments from these. Cut 2.5-inch segments and make little green and blue 4 patches for my stash. All right, let's press this back now and add the last piece after I cut the selvage. I know you guys like to see both ways. You can use green in the bottom. Yeah, I can use whatever color as long as it blends with the top. Just rolling this to the blue because it's the darkest color. Really doesn't matter as long as it's at the darkest side. And it's nice and flat and straight. It's a good thing I'm pressing it to the blue because right along this whole side is a white section. And if I would have put the blue behind it, it would have shown through. It's falling off my table as I press, guys. All right. Let's cut that. cut that last piece. Oh, and never let an iron touch the carpet. I accidentally did that with an iron already. I'm going to cut the selvage off now of the last and final piece. All right. Sorry, it's got a little wrinkle in there and I don't want it there. I'm trying to pull it out without moving the straight edge of the selvage. There we go, and there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna line it up again. Line it up. Make sure everything's nice and flush. Nice and flush. Put it on a line and cut. There. Right there. All right. Just gonna hold it with my arm. My arm makes a good stabilizer as well, as long as my whole entire arm is going over it. Just don't cut yourself. Ta-da! Last one. So this, I'm going to take over real quick to the ironing board. They probably did. Oh, well. It happens. So I'm just going to straighten this out and lay it on this green. Come over here and I have it on the bottom this time. Okay. Screw it. Gonna have to open it the whole way. Kind of holding it as I go while I sit here. Oh my God, seriously? Right there. One more time. I'm just going to do it like this. That way I can pull the whole thing and not wrinkle the bottom too much. Okay. So let's sew this on. Oh, Vicky's still awake. Vicky and Diane. Guys, still here. All right. Line this up and sew my 3/8 inch seam all the way down. And I'm going to take these off for a few minutes while I sew. So if you're going to type it now so I can put them back on and see what you're saying. For now, I'm not going to see for a second because my eyes, after a while of wearing glasses, even though they're the proper prescription, when I'm not using them for far away, using them for near constantly, just makes my head hurt. Plus my hair is up, which makes my head hurt too. So let my eyes rest momentarily. So when I'm done sewing this seam, which will be a few minutes, I'm going to spread it over the ironing board again and do the same procedure as last time. Push it to the side that it wants to go, which would be this. I had to reach my hand under it for a second. Split the two apart. There we go. My hand is moving under with it. So I don't know if you guys can't see that, but I have my hand under the two, in between the both, straightening the bottom and the top at the same time. And I'm using my hand to move from the bottom to the top with the sewing, if that makes sense. Down further, because it's such a lot of fabric now. Reach in. Really can't see that far. I see that it looks longer than it did. How are you feeling now, Vicky? Oh yeah, are you feeling any better? Oh, we always up with you, is that what it says? Yeah. I knew I saw the top part when I was reading the bottom. Is your throat and ears still hurting? My belly's still hurting.
That ain't gonna stop.
Alright. Put my arm back in here. Just trying to keep everything flat as I go. Hate when that happens. Kind of veered away for a second. "15 people are watching." Or 15 people or 14, 13 people are sleeping. If you're here and you're afraid to talk and you just watch, go ahead and talk, you guys. It's no big deal. The replays are available, but nobody really sits and watches the live chats as I'm like on the replay. I know I don't. So you don't have to be afraid to chat. You can ask questions, anything. That's what I love about live stream is I can answer more things as I'm doing it if you ask while I'm doing it. You know, I get more accomplished that way. Oh, all right, let's see. Ampy says, do you like your Juki machine? I love my Juki. I love it, love it, love it. I did not, however, like it when it was on a frame. And I said that in a bazillion of my earlier videos. This was not meant for a frame. And I'm going to talk while sewing. But if free motion quilts beautifully, there's only one thing. If you can only afford one machine, because these are in the $1,000 range, they've gone down. They're about, you can find a used Juki for about $600 on eBay and such right now. But if you want to buy a brand new one like this, mine's the TL 2010Q. There's a new model, which is the TL 2200. If you are looking to have just one machine to do everything, it don't do everything. It's only a straight stitch. So if you need and do a lot of applique, you can straight stitch around an applique, but it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as clean or anything. So you definitely would have to have 2 machines. But if you are a speed demon like I am when it comes to piecing and you like to get shit done and done quick, this is the machine for it. This thing is a workhorse for sure. And mine's not even sitting in a desk. I can't go as fast as it wants to go because I can turn mine up a little bit more. But if I do, it shakes off my desk. That's the only thing about it. And even with the, what's that stuff, that anti-slip grip stuff, shelving anti-slip, even with that underneath it, it still wants to run away from me. So I got to watch that. But other than that, I've only had to send it in once, and that was because the bobbin something or other that holds the casing, that piece wasn't installed correctly when I got the machine. Sometimes the guy told me that fixed it, but sometimes that happens in the factory. So it wasn't tightened down tight enough, and after so long of usage that when I first got it, and I use it a lot, when I first got it, that the usage caused that screw or thingy that holds the plate for the bobbin casing in, that thing came undone after using it. It vibrated loose and it happens. So they fixed that, put it back together, sent it back to me in the mail because everything is by mail for me to have it fixed. And yeah, and it was under warranty, so it was okay. It worked perfect. I didn't pay for the shipping. I didn't pay for anything at first. And that got fixed. And I've never had a problem since. And I didn't get a knock on wood because I haven't had a problem since. I keep this machine immaculate. And if anything breaks, I know how to fix it now. So I've already fixed 2 of my other machines. I have one that I can't figure out because it's computer parts. I can't do computer parts. But this one, I can fix it. I know I can. But maybe we shouldn't be fixing our own. But it's good that I can. And I keep it clean. So... And it's easy to clean too. And it's easy to wind bobbins. And it goes fast. It's a pretty quick process. The only thing that I don't like is that it slides off my table. But it's my table's fault. It's all, it's not my fault. I do like to go fast. And this is definitely the machine to get it done. If you're not scared of running over your finger, which I've done it and in a live stream, sewed over the finger. If you're not afraid of that, then this is the machine for that because it goes so fast that my finger went under before. So there's no guard. They do make a guard foot, but I don't have it. They make it though. It's expensive, but they make it. And it's no computerized anything. So that part is the best because it's a dial to turn the stitch length. There's a button to press the cutter, or I could press it on the back of my foot pedal. Forward is to drive, back is to cut. The tension is really easy to adjust. Like, not just really easy, it's super easy. The needle up down button is the only other thing, and then it has this. I love this as opposed to free motion quilting on my brother. This right here is the pressure gauge, the presser foot pressure gauge. So you turn this and it will adjust the pressure. That's what this little hole you can see right here is a knobby to see how much pressure is being pushed down on the foot. And I keep it at the halfway point when I'm piecing. I take all the pressure away when I'm not. And if I'm using thin fabrics, if like you were to sew, I guess like the polyester crap that I don't know what to do with, if you were to sew that because it's a lot thinner, then you would turn the dial down so that it's tighter. I love it. Definitely a smart idea with this thing. My other machine don't have it, but I wish it did. I've never used anything but a Singer, and I love it. But thinking of getting something new. Hi, Linda. Hi, Gina. I missed what machine. I use a Juki. Mine is a Juki TL 2010Q. All right, let's finish pressing this now. Last piece. I'm just going to fold it over the whole thing. So that way I just would flatten the seam out the way it wants to go, I guess, because that's the best way to do it. And this thing is now enormous, just like the top is. But that's what we are wanting. So you can see my wonderful racing stripe looks so awesome. Okay. And I'll hold it up so you guys can see when I'm done putting it together. Plus, I got to trim it anyway. I'll let that warm back up. My pants are falling off. Look back in the comments. I wrote it down. No, it TL 2010Q. A T. T, like is it Tiffany? TL 2010Q. It's the Juki TL 2010Q. And you know, just because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of other machines, but it costs pretty much the same. I don't need these to be up close. It's easy to clean, easy to work on. It's, I don't know, it comes with an extension table, it comes with extra feet, comes with a walking foot and a two different free motion quilting foots. If you buy it like on the site that I got mine for, but this was a long time ago. Now when you buy things that you can do free motion quilting, you get like 2 free rulers or, you know, extra bobbins or extra this, extra that. I did have to buy all mine, and I bought bobbin casings. I actually bought that stuff on Wish, the bobbin casings. The bobbins I have to buy, those are separate. I think it's not M class, L. They're L bobbins. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's a workhorse, and for the price, it's well worth it. I mean, like I said, you can find a used one for $650 right now, somewhere about there on eBay. The only reason why I know is because I looked to see to have a second one. So, but I paid a little bit. It was like $1,200 total for mine with all the extra stuff that I got. Like I had to order extra bobbins and stuff because I know I go through a lot of bobbins because I sew so fast. So, I like to have a ton pre-wound. But yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I wouldn't get a different machine. You know, if I had the chance now for a straight stitch machine, I wouldn't choose anything other than this machine. That's why it'd be nice to have a second one, honestly. And see, you can do all sorts of different stuff on your genome though, right? Or genome. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. The word says genome, but honestly, people pronounce it genome all the time. But yeah, you can do, oh yeah, the Juki has back stitch and stuff, simple things like that too, just so you know. What was I saying? You have like zigzag stitches and like 1,500 different stitches or some shit like that, right? Oh, yours is a straight stitch too? Oh, yours is like the brother 1,500 then. If the Janome is the 16, it's like the brother 1,500, which is a straight stitch machine. I actually don't like that one as much. I actually played with that one up at the shop. Because like I told you guys, I do have a local quilt shop. So they have all sorts of stuff up there. They do sell Genome. Trying to think of where else what other kind of machines I played with. I really want to get an embroidery machine in the future. That's my only other machine that I want to get that I do not own is an embroidery machine. All right. Not like brothers. Been in it. Been in what? C. Lopez. Hello, I found your YouTube videos 3 days ago and love your tips on cutting and organizing. Oh, yeah, I'm 100% OCD on my cutting and organizing. Oh, I was going to show you guys what this darn thing looks like, right? I don't want to crash into my iron and knock it down, though, and burn my floor. All right, let's hold this thing up so you can see in full what the back is going to look like. Obviously, there's no way for me to hold this nice and straight, and I still need to level it. All right. So it has the flowery part on one side, then that awesome stripe that goes with the stripe, which is going up and down, and then the other side. So I think that looks really cool like that, you know? Let's see if I can't fold it both ways. So it's an equal amount of these, of this, on both sides, right? And then that in the middle. I think highlighting it like that, plus I added myself a couple extra inches, which is really what I needed to do anyway. So now I just need to trim it, because you can see my blue sticks out some right there. So I just need to trim it nice and straight. But I think I'm going to get off of here because it's almost 2 hours. But I'm going to trim it and then we'll get off of here. So I'm just going to fold it in half like this. And I'm going to straighten this end because remember I said when I hook it to the long arm, I like it to be nice and flat to pin. Hook this together right here at this end. Create myself a nice straight edge. I'm going to line it up all the way down. I'm going to come over to the cutting board. Turn this down. Whoa, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How big is your quilt? My quilt, it's already done. It's 120 by 120. So this needed to be 128 by 128. All right. I can't see the comments from this far, but just know I know you're there. Grab this. Okay. So I'm going to make a nice straight line on this side and on that side. And then it should be flush. So let's keep it nice and straight. Flatten it out. Feels nice and straight. Put it on a line. It's going to want to fall because it's really heavy. Move these out of the way from the top, quilt top. Put it on a line. Put it on a line. And I'm just going to use that line as my guide. Go all the way down. Assume I just go in right here. It's nice and straight. Screw that, I'm going to hook it onto itself one more time. For some strange reason, I am not seeing a nice straight line. Nice and flush, nice and flush, nice and flush. Come back over. The more it's folded, the more heavier it is. And I'm not going to cut very much off. I'm just going to cut off to straighten it out. That's flat, that's flat. And that side's flat, that side's flat. Okay, everything is nice and flush, nice and flush. No, it's not. There we go. It's trying to fall off the table. All right. So here's a nice straight side. Now to do the same thing on the other side. Yes, it is definitely a lot. No, it's not. It's the glasses are for me to see far, not to see close. And right now I'm really close to the big screen. Here's the computer screen. Right this way is a big, like 32-inch TV screenish kind of thing going on. It's a TV screen that I use as a computer screen. So I'm going to keep this edge nice and flush because I need to straighten the other one. So I'm just going to let it, I'm holding this end nice and straight, and I'm kind of just wiggling until everything is flush down there because it's so big. You guys have the general idea of what I just did, right? By cutting that end, because I'm going to fight with this for a minute and get off of here because it's going to take me a minute to fold this all back up. So this is how I make. I'm just going to unfold it so you can see one more time. It's very pretty on one. And then it has a split on both sides like that. When it's opened up, this fabric right here is on the other side this way with that stripe down the center. So isn't that so pretty? Just so nicely. You need what for filming? A big TV screen. All right, so anyways, guys, this is how you put together oversized backing. And I'm going to fold it in half real quick and grab a measurement before I get off. How's that? That way I know that it's going to be 120. So this is folded in half. We're going to pretend that it's nice and straight, but we'll be as accurate as we can. Oh, shoot. I think my measuring tape, oh, there it is. 33, 66, 99, 199 plus 30, 10, 12, 2, carry the 1, 13, 132 wide, which is good. And length, I don't know because, yeah, so I have a good width. I don't know the length. I have to measure that. I gotta fight with this to fold it up. So anyways, guys, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, get notifications when I'm live, as well as like my videos and share the ones that you like. I don't mind being all over the internet. Other than that, this is how a big, huge quilt backing is made. And sorry for keeping you up late, but hey, I don't care because I'm up late and it doesn't matter. You don't have to be here. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, joining, hanging out with me while I make a backing. Bye, guys.